Well, we're back on We Don't Color on the Dog. We've got Scottlin Wilson, formerly Scotland Williams, meteorologist for Escambia County, rising star. Scotland, thank you for coming on this morning.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You know, we've got a storm out there, Tropical Storm Andrea. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Tropical Storm Andrea, it formed this morning, and it actually is the first of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. This isn't the earliest that a storm has ever formed, but we were watching it over the past couple of days. Yesterday, I even posted on Escambia County Emergency Management social media that we were watching it. It had a 70% chance of developing, but if it didn't tap into the environment, it was soon going to lose out on those favorable conditions of even potentially being able to form. And it was able to battle that shear. And of course, this morning, the National Hurricane Center determined that the area of low pressure we were watching out in the northern Atlantic, it became organized just enough to be briefly classified as a tropical storm.
So, do we have any indication of where it's going to hit the United States, or if at all?
Absolutely. So it is way out in the Atlantic. It's already moving into cold water. So Andrea will be short lived. That's the good news. Even more good news is that it is not expected to impact land. So also expected to dissipate over the next 24 hours. So Andrea is what we call a fish storm, staying out in the open sea.
Oh, that's nice. This is the time of year my family used to vacation on Pensacola Beach, and we went through Hurricane Camille hit in June. And I remember there were a couple years where it seemed like we were always with the storm out there. More recently, we've had a few July storms, but most of them come a little bit later in the summer or early fall, don't they?
Yeah, so peak season for us is maybe the end of August and then September into October. So that is our peak season. And wouldn't plan, well, you can't really form your life around hurricane season. You plan what you can, and then if a storm forms, then maybe you have to cancel those plans. But me being in my career as a meteorologist and emergency management coordinator, I can't really plan to go at least far away during those months, knowing that there's a potential that a storm may form and I may have to be called back to come into work because we deployed several times during those months last year for hurricanes that impacted elsewhere in Florida to help our neighbors.
Well, and that's the other piece I think that we need to keep in mind is that the state emergency system, everyone's linked to each other, and that if a storm does impact somebody, all hands on deck. Escambia County's gone to several locations to help.
Absolutely. Last year, we deployed for at least one team member deployed for Hurricane Debbie. All of us, all four of us, now we have a fifth team member, but she wasn't here at the time. We deployed to Madison County for Hurricane Helene. Three of us deployed to different areas for Hurricane Milton. So, for the past few years, Florida has been impacted at least once. Last year, it was three times.
Well, and I think the other thing it does, Scotland, is that it helps train our team here because each one's a learning experience, isn't it?
Absolutely. And we can bring back those lessons learned here. So it's always good to learn off of someone else's storm because since I have worked for Escambia County, we haven't been at a full scale level one activation. And that hasn't really happened since 2020, whenever Hurricane Sally hit. And I wasn't here at the time. So Escambia County has been impacted by a tropical system that needed that type of response since then. And so we have been able to gain our experience by deploying to those other counties, seeing what those other counties are doing and how they handle things. And we're going in to offer support. We don't ever go in and take over. We're just there to support them.
Right. Typically, they'll assign each team that comes in a particular area or a function to take care of.
Absolutely.
Now, when we do have a storm out there, even though this one doesn't appear it'll impact us, this is also the time to buy supplies, isn't it?
Yes. We say it used to be first 72 on you. Everyone probably knows that phrase, but over the past couple of years, that has changed. It's now 1 week ready, which means 7 days worth of supplies. So 7 days worth of food and water. It's a lot of water because that's 1 gallon of water per person per day for 7 days. So 1 week ready, you need to get all of those supplies. And Hopefully, most people are already 1 week ready, but if you're not, this is the time to do so, especially before we get into those peak season months, because as soon as a storm gets into the Gulf and there's a possibility of it impacting Escambia County, the grocery store shelves will empty rather quickly.
Well, and what we've done with our crew, our tribe, is that go ahead and buy a case of bottled water
Yeah.
when you go to the grocery store. It's relatively inexpensive when there's not a storm out there.
Hmm.
And just try to go ahead and, like you said, a gallon a day per person for at least 7 days. That rather than do it all at one time, you can put it at the bottom of the cart and stack it up in the garage somewhere.
Absolutely. That's the best way to do it, is to not try to buy it all at once so it hits the pockets a little harder. But if you gradually get it, I think you can build up your disaster preparedness kit pretty quickly and efficiently as well. Because as you may know, it is expected to be another above normal season. So NOAA has issued their forecast. There's only a 30% chance of it being a near normal season, about a 60% chance of it being above normal, and then a 10% chance of it being below normal. So, what is normal? Named storms, an average of a normal season would be 14. For hurricanes, an average would be 7. And then for major hurricanes, meaning category 3 or stronger, an average is 3. And so NOAA issuing their forecast, they're forecasting 13 to 19 total named storms. We already have number 1, 6 to 10 of those becoming hurricanes, and 3 to 5 of those becoming major hurricanes.
Well, I think Escambia County, we're very fortunate to have you, to have our own meteorologists who can analyze it and work with NOAA and work with the state and see the patterns. That gives us a little more independence. When you were at Mississippi State, did you ever think that you would be doing this for government?
Absolutely not. I thought I would be in the broadcast television world until I retired, but I loved it and I left while I still loved it, but I absolutely love what I do now as well. I say it's the best of both worlds, because not only do I still get to forecast. Yes, I left broadcast television, but I'm still in a career where I get to do the forecasting, what I went to school for, because I didn't want to give that up. I'm like, geez, I went to school for 5 years. I'm not just going to give it up. So I still get to forecast and still get to help people, but I get to help them even more by not just telling them what's to come and the impacts they can expect, but afterwards getting to deploy, getting people food and water, or getting them to shelter. So I get to do it all before, during, and after.
That's fantastic. Now, if someone wanted to keep up with what was happening, y'all have a lot of social media. Go
Yeah.
through for our viewers and listeners just some of the ways they can keep up with what's happening.
Absolutely. So on Facebook, I have a page, Meteorologist Scottlin Williams. Facebook is a little finicky, so although my new last name is Wilson, I'm still Meteorologist Scotland Williams on Facebook. We also have Escambia County Emergency Management pages as well. So if you search Escambia County Emergency Management on Facebook, you'll find our page there. And a lot of my posts are also shared to that page, so you'll get all of the information on both of those. We are also on Instagram, Escambia County Emergency Management, and X, which of course was formerly Twitter. We're on there as well. And then even LinkedIn, that's rather new. We're on LinkedIn too. So if you have a LinkedIn page, connect with us there.
For everyone, we'll add this to the description so you can click on that and go ahead and bookmark it, because it's invaluable to know what Scotland's seeing and what she's sharing. So please do it. And for the podcast, please like us, share us, subscribe to us. We want to keep these podcasts coming. And I just saw the announcement about the storm, so I reached out to Scotland right away, and we were able to get her on. So Scotland, thank you so much for doing this.
Anytime.
All right. And we will unfortunately be doing this again.
I'm sure we will. Yeah.
All right.
Ah, about that.